Public schools responding after edibles in schools make students sick. 4 students became sick at Brooks Middle School.
And just weeks earlier, 5 students at Coleman Middle School became sick after taking edibles. Brandon Stitt talked with the school district today. And Brandon, how are they going to handle this?
Well, Mike, Rachel, I talked to Terry Moses with Wichita Public Schools today about the drugs that these students are bringing and then taking when they're at school. And she made it clear there will be consequences, and that ranges from the police being called to administrative discipline. And she says this has to stop happening, and it all starts with conversations at home.
Student took a gummy and now she's vomiting.
And then another.
Another overdose at Brooks Middle School.
In a matter of weeks, 8 students became sick after taking edibles. Wichita Public Schools says with the legalization of edibles in surrounding states, they're more readily available in the community.
And just like the community is seeing it, anything that we see in the community, we sometimes see in schools.
And they're making kids sick. We talked to a pediatrician earlier this week who says edibles hit kids differently.
When young bodies are getting exposed to these kinds of substances, often dosed for large adult bodies, there can be all kinds of side effects and complications.
That's why it's important to have conversations with your kids about the dangers.
Making sure that these things aren't available to students. If you have alcohol, if you have edibles in your home, have that conversation. This is not meant for young people.
For the young people, remember,
all actions you take have consequences. Let's take actions that are positive, that make sense, that are good decisions.
And parents, just when you think you've said it enough.
We know statistics show that the more times students hear something, the more likely they are to follow that. Most importantly, if they hear it from a parent or a family member, they're likely to end up making better choices.
To the CDC, edibles can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours to take effect. Because of that time frame, many people that take them are caught off guard by their strength and long-lasting effects.